Bedankt, thank you. Today, I was asked to give some brief insight into what we learned over the past 21 months. This is difficult. We have a very diverse audience. And also, perhaps if I'm successful, it indicates that my colleagues and I perhaps made a terrible mistake. But I will attempt to give the highest overview and share with you, our loved ones, our family, our friends and colleagues, a small reflection of what we struggled over, sweated over, and were enlightened by. So, in preparing this talk, I reflected last night that I had the deep honor and pleasure to attend a closing dinner with my dearest friends, amazing people from rich and wonderful backgrounds and cultures, very inspiring people. Indeed, it was enjoying what the Epicureans and the French call the true meaning of life, which is good food and good friends. When I returned to the hotel, I looked over the speech I had prepared, and I said, this is a good speech. But if there's anything we've learned, good is the enemy of great. So, being the tortured artist that I am, I tore up that speech. And I said, I'm going to do it live. I'm going to do it live. And then I sat down and I rested and I said, my goodness, what have I done? I did bring the puppet for the children. So, kinderen, globalization is heel pijnlijk, maar eigenlijk heel goed voor het wereld. Dus... Well, seriously, after watching a very fascinating documentary on modern tulip horticultural techniques on late-night Dutch television, I redoubled my efforts. I sat down, breathed deeply, and I thought of our dear personal leadership development coach, Elizabeth Van Heerstein, and I redoubled an effort to try to connect with my inner voice, to seek some authenticity for our class. And I think the biggest thing is just to say that Masters of Business Administration doesn't do the half of explaining what an MBA is. We could try to make an attempt to describe the subjects we studied, managerial accounting, marketing, finance, operations, change management, strategy, decision-making, negotiations, the mechanics, the science of business. But this would not even be the half of it, as we've come to realize. No, rather we took more a study of the art of business, beyond the science. The secret sauce of the OneMBA, its beating heart, was integrating the science with the art through a dynamic understanding of the evolving world mixed with self-development, aimed at getting in touch with a deeply humanistic understanding of integrated international leadership. We learned that being an effective business leader depends on one's inner maturity and compassion from the perspective of everyone in the company, from the executives to the cleaners. Everyone is equally deserving of understanding and respect. And that successful business is more than a paycheck. It's an opportunity to project meaning, hope, self-respect, and self-reliance into the world. And we walked the walk. We went and traveled to the places we studied. A crucial component of our study involves going firsthand and visiting our partner schools in Mexico, Brazil, China, and the United States. And we realized this is a very hopeful world, but it's also a world undergoing dramatic change. We gained a feeling that what can only be called the ongoing dance of globalization is complex. That computer technology, the internet, and travel, and cultures merging are making the world both smaller, but also more complicated. And finally, we realized that fusing the art and science of business together brings out the melange of self-understanding, and we learned some deep notions that haunted us and slowly lit the fire of change. We learned things such as, go where you are appreciated and awarded and rewarded in life, not where you are tolerated. Know yourself, maximize your strengths, but also know your weaknesses. Find your inner authenticity, your inner voice, your passion, and your inner child. And we were taught to develop a passion and courage for change. So we face weighty challenges going forward in this world. We ask, is the Western model fundamentally sustainable in the long term? We only need to turn on the television to be made aware of the economic crisis, the crisis with the euro, the growing importance of Asia in the world, the turmoil and change going on in developing nations, such as the Arab Spring revolutions, but also hopeful change, such as the rapid betterment of developing nations. But can we truly be called a successful species when children nightly go to bed hungry? And not only for a lack of food, but often for a lack of hope and a lack of realistic dreams for a better future. And I think the answer is right now we must give ourselves a low grade, but redouble ourselves in that realization and commit to doing better. And if it's going to be through anything, it's through the art of business and leadership that we have any hope to improve this world. The art of business, as all arts is beautiful and inspiring. And that beauty surrounds us. Here we stand in a stately hall filled with the cultures of the world, a marvelous building, a proud campus, a vibrant city, itself raised from the ashes of war only 65 years ago. Marvel at the busy port of Rotterdam, the bridges, the train system, the skyscrapers, the parks and museums. Rotterdam is an inspiring city of living, breathing business. And I only advise us to pause and appreciate our bridges, appreciate the love that is in our buildings and what we have. And the final and most important thing is that we've realized that there's a connection between each other. That was the most important thing of our study. In meeting the most remarkable group of people that I've ever met, to go forward knowing each other, it seems no barriers can stop us. No problems are insurmountable. The hope for the future, we realized, is in each other. The indelible network we formed, and it has made us all stronger. So in conclusion, I repeat what we learned simply and clearly in human terms. Stay true to yourself, sustain a lifelong love of learning, take the time to appreciate those around you for their uniqueness and for their individuality, for their inner child, no matter how old they are. Everyone has that deep inner child. And never, never, never give up, and never, never forget how to laugh. Ladies and gentlemen, I wish you good luck.